I'm gonna wreck it!
Fix it, Leon!
I can fix it!
Closing time, last game, everyone out.
My name's Wreck-It Ralph.
I'm gonna wreck it!
Wreck-It Ralph is the villain of a renowned video game, but after being demeaned and humiliated after 30 years, Ralph decides it's time for a change and embarks on a quest to be a hero, jumping through various video games, meeting new characters, and realizing what it takes to be a true hero. During its first 15 minutes or so, I found myself reminiscing the feeling of watching toys come to life in Toy Story, and I'm happy to say that even though the movie borrows heavily from that, it does it in the sincerest way, adding that story element to the next big thing for kids after toys and action figures, which is obviously video games. What turned out to be even more surprising is that after stating its premise, the plot becomes a little more fleshed out than I thought it would be. It branched out from Ralph's story onto other subplots concerning the supporting characters that came together in the end almost seamlessly, and I was not expecting that. Every character is not only designed well, but written exceptionally, with Vanellope, played by Sarah Silverman, turning out to be the bigger surprise. From the trailer, she looked like she was going to be irritating, and she started out that way, but as we get to know her, she becomes more likable and downright adorable as the movie progresses. Felix, played by Jack McBrayer, had some feel-good moments, and Jane Lynch as stereotypical one-liner spitting Sergeant Calhoun, who comes from a game believed to be the love child of the Call of Duty, Gears of War, and Halo franchises, is a perfect satire lifted from today's gaming industry. My only real complaint would have to be Ralph himself. Although personality-wise I ended up liking him very much, I would have liked to have seen him develop a little more. He was always talking about how his life for the past 30 years sucked, but I would have liked to have been shown that with at least a montage to get a good feeling of the drama. But listening to myself say that makes me sound like a snooty critic, so I'm gonna digress. This minor gripe, however, ends up being made up for in the form of a deal of great writing. Sometimes animated films fall derivative when certain elements that don't make sense are written into them, but here, let's just say that some characters say things that are perfect logic and give every other character a proper motivation for the things they do, at least within the context of video game characters coming to life. Pixar should definitely see some stiff competition in Disney Toon animation. The animation is coming a long way since Chicken Little back in 2006, and the whole movie is filled with gorgeous artwork and eye-popping visuals, to the point where I'm actually going to go ahead and recommend you see this in 3D, mainly for a scene involving bug hunting. If you've never been to a rave, this scene will definitely stimulate the experience. And I cannot go on without mentioning the visual references and gags paying homage to the golden era of video games. Most of them are seen in the trailer, with a couple more being saved for the film, but they aren't exactly the focus of the film. It's Ralph. Frankly, I'm completely more than okay with that because it helped establish a character who I wouldn't mind seeing in another film. Overall, this ended up being one of the best animated movies of the year and probably one of the best movies of the year, period. Other nitpicks I may add would probably be some of the slapstick humor fell a little flat for me, but I at least understood why it was there. This movie is just too colorful for the littlest of kids to not go see it. And like all Disney movies, there's that infamous shoe dropping scene that happens in almost every movie of this sort, but they managed to tweak it just a little bit to genuinely making it a little more emotional than just the typical shoe dropping scene. I give Wreck-It Ralph a 9.3 out of 10, which is an A-. If an actual Wreck-It Ralph video game would come out using the same mythology this movie built for it, I would definitely be the first in line.
Oh, good. The cops. Hold still.
Take that!
What are you